Great news for those that were so angered by it. It is over. After 23,000 miles, 3 weeks, the Inter Miami / Lionel Messi and Friends World Tour has ended, starting January the 19th in El Salvador. And I shouldn't say it's ending. It do have a game February the 15th. It's not part of the tour. It's part of their preseason. They'll face Lionel Messi's childhood team, Newell's Old Boys, down there in Florida. But essentially, the big global tour that infuriated so many is over. We will get to all of that here on the Soccer OG. Check out the Soccer OG podcast. You might notice I have sun-kissed, sunburnt a little bit. I spent the day at the Coachella Valley Invitational, the preeminent MLS preseason tournament. Saw a lot of great football, had a lot of great guests, and it's all there on my latest episode. So check out the Soccer OG podcast. Check out the library of episodes. I have great guests coming up. I know fantastic ones coming over the next 2 weeks. So get involved, spread the word, and of course, like and subscribe us here on YouTube under my name, Max Bretos. Smash that like button, smash it. So let's get to this. Normally, this should be a tournament that is celebrated. I mean, an MLS team, and I know it's because of Messi. Everyone reminds me of that. And by the way, let me assure you that Inter Miami is not the first team to use Messi, it's not the right word, to expand their brand and sell shirts and do all of that. It's worked for decades. People want to see him, and he is affiliated to every club he is involved with, whether it is Barcelona, PSG, or Inter Miami. And I will get to the details about this because people keep reminding me they're there to say Messi. But yeah, you're also there to see the team he plays for. When he toured with Barcelona, he made a lot of Barcelona fans. There's some new kids out there that see him and only maybe know him in an Inter Miami shirt, and they'll become Inter Miami fans. David Beckham, the last time who did a tour of this, and I remember because I called these games, there are Galaxy fans in Hong Kong and the Philippines because of that tour. So it's worthwhile. And yes, they're going to see Messi, but because he's wearing that shirt, that's the shirt that gets sold. So that is the club they may end up supporting because of their affinity of Lionel Messi. So many other players do the same thing. I did it with Michael Jordan. I bought Air Jordans, and remember those first editions of Air Jordans? Remember what color they were? They were the Chicago Bulls colors. LeBron James, all these great athletes, Cristiano Ronaldo, you name it. We want to see them, but we pull for that team. So it is an Inter Miami tour. So we can get caught in that debate. But the bottom line, they're not selling jerseys with Messi's face on it. They have his name on the back, Inter Miami's crest, and their partners on the front of the shirt, which is Carnival Cruise Lines, I believe. So we get into this tour, and right from the jump, everyone had their pistols cocked to break it down because how dare an MLS team tour? And again, to my point, did they bite off more than they could chew? Was it Messi? Literally, yes. I don't know what game they should cut off because essentially they needed this. Maybe you don't go to Japan at the end, but as my dad used to say, if you're all the way out there, you might as well see as much as you can see. If you're already in China, why not see Japan? That's how it works, as opposed to do another tour down the road. That's what Inter Miami were doing, kicking the tires. So yeah, logistically it was a mess, but all the other things that happened out of it that are being so heavily criticized, and I don't understand why people are so invested. Why do you even care? It's a preseason tournament. I'm watching AFCON and the Asian Cup, which I talk about on my Soccer OG podcast. And if you're a fan of the USMNT, check out my podcast because there's some really good news for USMNT based on what's happened in those tournaments. There's so much going on as opposed to your constant outrage about this tour and telling people what a disaster it is, which it was not. It achieved everything just about it wanted to do. But the outrage I don't understand, and why you're so hell-bent on it. Why are accounts so hell-bent on it, ready to break it down in the United States? I'm talking about American press, when we should really say this is a breakthrough moment. As if trying to expand your brand or making money is evil. Oh, so Inter Miami can't do it, but the rest of the soccer world can. Do I have that right? They can exploit players. They can do tours. They can do no-shows. You name it. It's okay, but Inter Miami cannot do it. So, look, part of the tour it was their first, and there was a lot of hiccups. When Manchester United did their first tour, Barcelona did their first tour, I'm sure there were issues there. But Inter Miami has to get from here to there. They're in diapers on this. So you treat them like a kid. But they didn't get that treatment. It was fire and brimstone from that group. I hope I'm getting all this in order because I want to make my points on it. Because look, when I heard about this tour, I didn't care. I said, good, see what you can do. I mean, it sounds like you're biting off a lot. But see what you're able to do. But I can assure you, this is what they were able to accomplish. They were able, Inter Miami, to expand their brand. They got a lot of interactions. I mean, from Bleacher Report to the BBC to the Guardian to La Marca to South America to Diario Olé, all of that was covering this and getting a lot of clicks. That matters. They also sold a lot of merchandise, which is what every other club that does these tours wants to do, and have never been vilified for it. So it was a success, despite what you might have read. Inter Miami's going to come back. They have a lot of money as a result, and they have a lot of exposure. And I'll tell you why that's really important, because this Inter Miami project is not a flash in the pan. When Messi leaves, it's going to collapse. I can assure you that is not what is on offer, and they will be able to build more fans based on this. It was also a tough tour because Lionel Messi is 36 and Luis Suarez is 37. So from the beginning, we had to anticipate they weren't going to make all their dates. Which, by the way, is fine. You can't say, well, he's 36. We can't travel to Japan or China or Saudi Arabia because he's 36. But we want to see him. Okay, you do it. You apologize afterwards. I have been to many games with my son who wanted to see LeBron, and LeBron late scratch. Disappointment, yes, but what can you argue about? And the crowd that buys tickets for these preseason friendlies, if they don't know what they're getting into, then they are way too naive. I can assure you they know, and they're big boys and girls, they know there's the chance that they will be disappointed, especially when they look at this schedule and see what is going to happen. So I just want to go through some of the articles. This was in The Guardian, who said the difference between this tournament and others was it was marketed as a meaningful tournament. I can't believe what I'm reading. I really can't believe. What did you want them to say? And they were hoping it would be well. They want Messi to play. The only issue here is people are saying injuries, which happen in every preseason tournament. I know there was the Sergio Busquets injury. I hope he's okay. But you can't wear kid gloves when you're on preseason. Injuries happen. You hope they don't. But they happen in every preseason tournament, not exclusive to Inter Miami's tour. So that's an issue. And the other issue is Lionel Messi not playing. And the only issue we have there is in Hong Kong. And now Hong Kong's government's getting involved and they want answers. And Hong Kong, you don't get answers. If Inter Miami says Lionel Messi can't play, he can't play. End of story. Tough toodles caboodles. That's it. If they say he can't play, he can't play, and there's nothing you can do about it. Lionel Messi has an exemplary track record of playing games. When he came everywhere, he wants to play. No one's more disappointed about not playing there than him. You got a training where you got to see Messi practice. And I don't know what to tell you. And they're upset because he played in Japan. Well, afterwards, injuries get healed. It was a hamstring injury. I go, he's trying. You want him to sit out? I just don't understand this thinking. Hong Kong's got to step back. I'm saying Hong Kong. I'm not talking about the whole country. But these organizing committees, relax. So the issue that Messi didn't play, the injuries, you can't control either one of those. And then the results. All of a sudden, preseason results matter. Article after article. One win for Inter Miami on their tour. They're just beginning their preseason with a bunch of players that are just being put together for the first time. They're playing really good teams. They're in the middle of their seasons. And they really, one bad loss, that was Al Nassr game. Everything else, they were competitive. What do you want? Why is that criteria to cancel the whole thing? Inter Miami, whoa, what's it going to do for the perception of MLS? Who cares? It's preseason. No one's going to remember this. This is so absurd that people are bent out of shape about those three aspects which I just pointed out. By the way, the Al Nassr game was labeled as the last dance. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't play in that. Where's the criticism there? He could have swooped right in and saved the day, but he didn't. But it falls on Lionel Messi, apparently. Because of the perceived, already in place criticism about this tour. Everyone was ready to jump on it. You see where I'm getting at here? So that marketed as meaningful and preseason pantomime. What do you think a preseason is? I mean, Manchester City were in the Far East. Does anyone remember that? And they had like all sorts of weird things because the public wanted it. Now there's these refunds being asked. Get out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge. You buy a ticket for that, that's on yours. No refunds. Okay, so I'm going to... there's so much on this. I was happy to talk about it. And I know I'm going to get some grief from you because people just... I want to... Just to put to close the media, which to me is being exposed because this is all agenda. This is all agenda. World Soccer Talk has an agenda. They don't like MLS because they don't play the same way they do in Europe. And I would love to see MLS play the way they did in Europe, but they don't. And the reason they don't is because if they did it now, they would go bankrupt. They can't fund leagues below them and have pro rel. They can't really commit to cup competition because nobody watches. They would go bankrupt. So yeah, that's criticism across the board. So they had this tweet. Someone at Apple or MLS has to pull the plug on Inter Miami's tour before it becomes a worse PR disaster. No one thinks it's a PR disaster but you. Inter Miami's returning to the U.S. early and has canceled Wednesday's game in Japan. No, they did it. They played the game. When Beckham gets booed, this video of being booed, and some of it's booed. Most fans are going to the exits and moving on with their lives. It's like a scene from Spinal Tap. They were booing him when we were on stage. So that agenda is there, and that's all it is. And they were ready to go, and they were never ready to support a preseason tour, which should have been supported, as flawed as it might have been. However, as successful it's going to be at the end of the day. And the reason we know that is because they didn't cancel it. They played the games. There's a lot of photos, like this one with Iniesta. Look how happy these guys are. Iniesta together. Do you think those folks in El Salvador are disappointed? Do you think those folks in Saudi Arabia are disappointed? Hong Kong, well, you can't keep everyone happy. I'm going to get back to the final point about Messi is bigger than Inter Miami. And Messi is bigger than everything. Inter Miami were able to bring him in to prop them up, and they paid top dollar to do it. And this is part of the deal because it's a long-term deal. I am from Miami. And I was very critical of Inter Miami getting an MLS team. I said it wouldn't work, but I'm dead wrong because they have done it in an incredible way. They've gotten local support, and they somehow got the sign-off to build a stadium. Miami Freedom Park, 25,000 seater. It's an entertainment district, 60 acres. Or wait, it's more than that. It's $1 billion combined for everything. Might be the best stadium MLS is ever going to have. Construction has begun. They want to open in 2025. And that is going to be the baby from all of this. And Lionel Messi is going to retire, and he's going to stick around in Miami and be part of this as an ambassador, a coach, whatever. He is on board. He's always going to be on board. You can always use that, just like they're using Beckham. FIFA's moving into Miami. They have offices. The Argentine national team's building a facility. Miami is becoming soccer, football city. This is a long-term project, and this tour is just part of facilitating that. So if you think Messi's here for 2 years and it's going to go away, I got some real estate down there in Overtown. So I don't know. Look, come on. There's a lot of money being spent. This is all done intentionally. So did this tour go great? No. Did it do what it wanted to do? Yes. Did I watch any of it? Very little. Should you care about it? No. Will you care about it in a few weeks? Nope. We're all going to move on. We're going to worry about the regular season, and that's going to be it. Okay? Let's not sweat the small stuff, even though I just sweated it for 16 minutes talking about it. The Soccer OG, check out the Soccer OG podcast. There's a new podcast out there right now from the Coachella Valley Invitational. Like and subscribe us here. We'll see you again on the weekend. Have a good one. And Qatar and Ivory Coast are going to win. Clean.